Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Canadian Edition here. We're doing some low tier Russian action for this video. Before we get into the battle here on Poland, realistic battles as always. Fuck arcade. I just want to talk about the history of the ZIS 30, which is a Russian self-propelled gun, which you can see in the top left corner there, and we are selecting now to play with. So I just want to talk a little bit about this puppy right here. During the first weeks of Operation Barbarossa in 1941, the Soviet forces suffered crushing losses at the hands of the well-organized German army. As a number of Soviet vehicles rapidly decreased, armored vehicles, Soviet representatives searched for ways to compensate for the losses with easily produced vehicles. As a result, an order for quick development of improvised self-propelled anti-tank guns was issued in July 1941 as a means of providing the Red Army cheap and easy to produce anti-tank weapons. The schedule was extremely tight, allowing only 2 weeks for development. In response to this, the Design Bureau and No. 92 factory, led by P.F. Muraviev, developed a light anti-tank destroyer using the chassis of the Komsomolets tracked artillery tractor, which is propelled by a 4-cylinder Gaz-M automobile engine, which produced 50 horsepower and top speeds of up to 47.5 kilometers an hour. The process of refitting the vehicle was simple. The chassis and the hull remained unchanged, while the armament, the 57mm ZIS 2 anti-tank gun, was simply mounted atop the vehicle. The crew consisted of 4 men: the commander, gunner, the commander/gunner, sorry, it's one person with 2 jobs, the loader, the driver, and the machine gunner, manning the hull-mounted machine gun. The situation was so dire that mass production was launched on September 21st, 1941, and by October, 15,100 vehicles, designated as the ZIS 30, were produced. A mere 3 months after the order to develop the vehicle was given, making it perhaps one of the fastest designed tanks in the world. That is crazy. I mean, the Soviets, you gotta hand it to them, they did know how to come up with some ideas. Here we go. Miss. Hit. Driver, gunner, machine gunner, transmission, and track. He's fucked. Whoa. Horrible shot there. And there we go. Target destroyed. M4A3 105mm. Sherman with the howitzer. Anyway, the vehicle featured a gun that was capable of destroying any German tank of the period at combat range. This was in 1941, late 1941. This was a very welcome trait and proved invaluable to the Soviet defenses against the German panzers. However, there were significant disadvantages of the makeshift design. The weight of the gun reduced the mobility of the vehicle, and the size of the vehicle allowed only a very small ammunition supply of 20 rounds to be carried. Protection of the crew was non-existent, as the vehicle had only a very thin amount of armor, and the gun crew was protected only frontally by the gun's shield. The vehicle was unstable due to its high profile, had a low operational range, and the communication between the driver and the gun crew was very problematic. Only 101 ZIS 30s were manufactured due to problems with availability of both the gun and the chassis, both being urgently needed elsewhere. The ZIS 30 only served until summer 1942, being replaced by more specialized vehicles such as the Su 57MM, once the urgency for such vehicles disappeared. So, you gotta hand it to the Russians. They knew they didn't have anything in their arsenal around 1941 to combat the Germans. They were under attack. The Germans were pushing into Russia as Operation Barbarossa continued. Excuse me. So they designed this puppy in 3 months, and even though it was really horrible for the tank crews, it got the job done and could penetrate any German tank at the time, even at high ranges. So we're derping around here, and this was a big mistake, because now we're fucked. Driver's dead, gun's damaged, and we're sitting ducks in the middle of, well, nowhere really. And sure enough, a Ho-I, which is an ugly ass Japanese tank, I would assume. We'll see in a second here. Yeah, that's one of them. Has slaughtered us. So we are done. We're going to choose our next tank, which is the T26E. So yeah, we're going to roll out with the T26E. In Poland here, there's 23 minutes left. It's a pretty even battle so far. This tank's got a little bit of armor around it. It's a premium version of the T26. The T-26 light tank in Soviet service, while making up a major part of Soviet armored forces, proved quite under-armored when against new anti-tank weapons, as it was an old 1931 design. The Spanish Civil War showed some of these defects in the T-26, but it wasn't until the Winter War against Finland that proved that the majority of light anti-tank weapons could destroy the T-26. In order to remedy this, factory number 174 in Leningrad designed a new variant for the T-26, utilizing applique armor on the hull and turret. And this is the variant we're driving here. It's called the shielded T-26. This variant was dubbed the T-26E. Sorry, the E stands for screened. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Russian word. Which added 30 to 40 millimeters of armor to the original armor plates by bolting and welding. All of the single-turreted T-26 models made during the Winter War period were given this modification, and testings proved that the additional armor made the T-26 much more resistant against light anti-tank weapons. So once again, the Russians were faced with a problem, and they just bolted some armor to their tanks. But it worked. So there were 89 T-26Es made during and after the Winter War, with 27 single turret models made from the factory, 27 more as flamethrower models, and 15 single turret models were made in workshops near the front line. After the war, 20 more single turret variants were made and delivered for tank units. Many more modified T-26s were made during the course of World War II. So this was by no means the best Russian tank, but it certainly got the job done. As we take a hit there, we lose one of our crew and another one's injured, and we are killed, but we did get a kill before we were knocked out there by that Crusader. Might not be a Crusader, I can't remember what that one's called. That was... Mark 4A13. I'm sure it was called something else. Anyway, we're going into another battle here in the fields of Normandy. Domination battle. And we're taking this ZIS 30. I highly recommend these tanks I'm playing right now. Are really fun if you like low tier games. This ZIS 30 has the same gun as the T3457, which is a 4.3 battle rating. And this tank is only a 2.3 battle rating for realistic battles. So this gun will destroy anything, but anything can destroy you because you have no armor. But if you like sniping, just hanging out at the back, or you know this game really well and you're not worried about armor and you don't mind these kind of vehicles, the gun on this thing is crazy, especially for a 2.3. So I play this thing when I'm having a bad day. I'll get this thing out, try to, you know, shoot up some low tier people. And it's pretty fun. So I do recommend this thing, and it doesn't take a long time to grind. It's the second tank destroyer in the Russian line, so you'll get it in no time. It comes after the Su-51. Excuse me. Pardon me. But yeah, I'm really happy with Russia so far. I'm a level 38 in War Thunder, so I'm just getting started, really. But I'm loving the Russians. As a Canadian, I don't really have a favorite. You know, I don't really have a. Well, I wouldn't say I don't have a favorite, but I don't have a home nation. You know, like there's no Canada. So we see a little Panzer here. And we're gonna wait. Oh, fuck. Something just hit us from the back. Jesus Christ, we're dead. Yeah, there was a tank to our right on the crossroads. And he got killed right after he killed us, which sucks. But now we're in a truck. Literally a Russian vodka truck with a gun on the back. But this isn't just any gun, this is a 12.7mm machine gun, which can actually penetrate up to 30... Here, let me just check. How much armor can you penetrate? With the armor-piercing incendiary rounds loaded, this can penetrate 27mm at 10 meters, 25mm at 100 meters, and 17mm at 500 meters. 11mm at 1,000. Not that you want to be shooting that far with this thing. But you know, this thing can penetrate vehicles at this battle rating. We're only playing a 2.3 game here, so... Sadly, we've been reduced to our vodka truck, but we're going to get the job done. We are determined. So we see a target here. Unfortunately, we're in a... I don't know what the hell we're doing. I think our drivers had a little too much vodka. So we're going to reposition and try to get some shots on this guy. Oh, listen to the sound of that. Fucking beautiful, isn't it? I love the machine gun sounds. When I'm playing this game, like, obviously this is the edited version, but when I'm playing the game live, I fucking crank the music. Or the, not the music, the game volume. As long as I'm not playing with someone who's, like, listening to me on the mic, then they're gonna hear all my sound, but if I'm playing alone, I blast it. Because the sounds in this game, in my opinion, are great. Especially when you're firing off a big Russian machine gun. So we're moving in here with no fear, even though we have no armor. If I was the guy in the back of this thing, I'd be shitting myself. Oh my god, there's a tank. But we've got round them. And we're peppering them with 12.7 here. Oh, we got him. Knocked out all of his crew. He's got a big gun on that thing. He got a Sturmpanzer. That's a Sturmpanzer 2. And he's got a 150mm gun on that thing. So we captured the zone. And I don't know about you guys, but I always find it hilarious when I do better in the goddamn vodka truck than I do in my actual tank that I was selecting for this game mode. And that's what's happening here. So, if you guys get derped and you have one of these in your lineup, make sure it's got the 12.7mm or like a bigger gun on it. Like, you don't want to use the one with the you don't want to use the one with the 7.62 machine guns. You want the 12.7mm DSHK machine gun at a bare minimum. Also, this thing can't shoot behind itself. It can only look over the front 180 degrees of the truck. Just kind of crappy. We're gonna try and shoot down some planes here. Get a hit. And now, as you can see, we can't line him up anymore because the fucking gun doesn't rotate that far, so we have to reverse. And quite frankly, that really pissed me off in the moment, because I felt like I could have killed that guy. But because the gun didn't rotate all the way around, that was not possible. But it does make sense, because where the hell's the guy gonna go? There's a box at the front of it, really. Where the fuck's the guy gonna go, you know? Doesn't really have anywhere to put his feet or anything, so... I should have known. But hey, here we go, in the vodka truck. We're heading for B. This thing's not too shabby for speed. I mean, we're doing 34 here. But it is a truck. So if we were on a map with sand or snow, we would not be going this fast. That's for sure. So we're really just looking for targets to shoot here. And that's it. Mission accomplished. Thanks for watching.